God's timing isn't always our timing. He may not work things out the way we planned, but He is working things out for the better. This COVID-19 pandemic has really changed everything around the world. From our basic routinary way of living, the celebration of big events has suddenly shifted to new normal.
Today, another history slowly unfolds as we come to an end of the school year 2020-2021. Our dear parents and their children who patiently waited, finally, it's over. It's been a roller coaster ride for our young junior high students to prove their worth to become a member of this year's batch of completers. This is why Sicsican National High School proudly presents its 6th completion ceremony anchored to this year's theme, Strengthening the Quality of Education Amidst the COVID-19 Pandemic.
So to start with, this most awaited moment has never been made possible without the support of the equally and highly esteemed individuals from the Schools Division of Puerto Princesa City, led by the dynamic and very supportive Schools Division Superintendent, Sir Serviliano A.R. Saga, CESO5. The epitome of an empowered woman and our active parent supervisor in charge, Education Program Supervisor, Ma'am Shirley F. Linang. Our dedicated and very purpose-driven school principal to Ma'am May L. Mabella. Other distinguished men and women of the entire academic community, colleagues, members of the Completers Batch 2021, proud parents, guardians, friends, ladies and gentlemen, a pleasant and blissful viewing to all of you.
To formally begin, may we all put ourselves in the spirit of patriotism as we listen to our Philippine national anthem. Let us ask for the divine guidance and providence through a doxology to be given by Ma'am Pauline K. Hilongos. Let's join together as we sing the Mi Maropa March, Puerto Princesa City Mabuhay, and DepEd Puerto Princesa City hymn respectively.
Mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
Kayang magiliw, telas ng sinakalan, alam ng puso, sa titik mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, kuya ka ng magiting, sa manlulupin, di ka pasisigil, sa nagatang tutok sa simoy at sa langit ng pagaw, ay hinatang tula, tawid sa pagkayang minamahal, ang isang ng matawad mo'y tagumpay na nagtitindig, ang bituin at araw niya kailan pang ay di magtitindig. Luman ang araw ng walang pagsinta, mo'y langit sa piling mo. Ang inigaya ng pagkay mga amin, ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Take and receive, O Lord, my liberty. Take all do what thou wilt command, and I obey only thy grace, thy love on me bestow. These make me reach, all else will I forgo. Do thou direct and govern all and sway, do what thou wilt command, and I obey only thy grace, thy love on me bestow. These make me reach, all else will I forgo.
Sa tabi ng may dagat at magagandang mundo, may isang bayang sumikat, Puerto Princesa ngalan. Mga gubat at ukirin, dito ay makikita. Iyan na ang bayan namin, na di makalimutan. Sa tabi ng may dagat at magagandang mundo, may isang bayang sumikat, Puerto Princesa ngalan. Mga gubat at ukirin,
Dito sa kagawaran ng edukasyon ng Puerto Princesa, kami ay nagkakaisa. Ika'y walang kapantay sa pagbabago ng buhay ng mga kabataan. Ikaw ay kagapay, laging handang magbigay ng serbisyong tapat at kulay. Noon naman hanggang ngayon, ikaw ay sandigan. Isusulong ang karunungan sa magandang kinabukasan. Kaya tayo'y magkaisa, kabataan ang pag-asa. Programang pang-edukasyon, kabutihan ang layon. Mga magulang at mga guro, katuwang sa pagbabago. Kaya tayo'y magkaisa, kabataan ang pag-asa. Dito sa kagawaran ng edukasyon ng Puerto Princesa, kami ay nagkakaisa. Ika'y walang kapantay sa pagbabago ng buhay ng mga kabataan. Ikaw ay kagapay, laging handang magbigay ng serbisyong tapat at kulay. Dito sa kagawaran ng edukasyon ng Puerto Princesa, tagumpay.
It is overwhelming to hear welcome remarks for today's virtual completion ceremony. Let us all listen and witness Jonabel N. Abono, a completer with high honors, for her words of welcome.
To our remarkable leaders in the academy, headed by Sir Seveliano A. Arzada, Schools Division Superintendent, our beloved school principal, Ma'am May Almabelia, to all the faculties of Sicsican National High School, our proud parents and dear completers, a blessed afternoon to everyone. Despite of the situation we're experiencing today, we are awesomely grateful to simply gather virtually to celebrate and witness our completion ceremony. I am Jonabel N. Abono, a completer with high honors and privileged to have opportunity to speak today. In behalf of Batch 2021, I would like to welcome you all in this very important occasion. Ceremonies like this are a time both for celebration and thanksgiving. I hope that for us completers, we consider this success as the first step in achieving greater successes in the future. I hope and pray also that this time, we will recognize those who have helped us reach this milestone of completing the junior high school education. Thank you to our families, friends, faculties, and to this alma mater, Sicsican National High School. Our success is also your success. Again, welcome everyone, and let us celebrate this day with a joyful heart and thankful spirit. Be safe. God bless us all.
Thank you, Jonabel, for that warm words of welcome to our viewers today. Moving on, ladies and gentlemen, you are about to witness virtually the main highlight of today's event. To do the honors of presenting the school year's candidates for completion, may we have our very purpose-driven and dedicated school principal to Ma'am May L. Mabella.
Most respected Schools Division Superintendent of the Division of Puerto Princesa City, Sir Serviliano A. Arzaga, I have the honor to present to you 140 males and 142 females, for a total of 282 candidates for completion of this school, Sicsican National High School, for the school year 2020 to 2021. They have satisfactorily complied with the requirements of the K-12 Basic Education Program set by the Department of Education, Republic of the Philippines. May I request their confirmation for completion.
And now, let us move on to the certification of eligibility for completion by our Parent Supervisor in Charge, Education Program Supervisor, Ma'am Shirley F. Lilang.
To our Schools Division Superintendent, Division of Puerto Princesa City, Mr. Serviliano A. Arzaga, CISO 5, based upon the presentation of Mrs. May L. Mabella, Principal 2, that these candidates have been satisfactorily completed all the requirements required for junior high school, I hereby certify that they are eligible for completion, having been completed satisfactorily the requirements for K-12 Basic Education Program prescribed by the Department of Education, Republic of the Philippines. May I request for confirmation of their eligibility for completion.
For the acceptance and confirmation of their completion, may we have our Schools Division Superintendent, Sir Serviliano A. Arzaga, CESO 5.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Secretary of the Department of Education, Honorable Leonor Magtolis Briones, and with the presentation of your school principal, Ms. May L. Mabilla, Principal 2, and certification of Ms. Shirley F. Lilang, Education Program Supervisor 1, that these 142 boys and 140 girls, with a total of 282 learners of Sicsican National High School, have satisfactorily completed all the necessary requirements prescribed by the Department of Education under the K-12 Basic Education Curriculum. I hereby confirm your completion in the junior high school, and therefore you are entitled to receive your certificates and to enjoy whatever benefits appertaining thereto. My sincere congratulations to all the completers of Sicsican National High School Batch 2021. Mabuhay po kayo!
A certificate of completion is the tangible evidence of being a completer in a certain level of education. This is now the fruit of each student's endeavor.
So, to do the honors of the distribution of certificates of completion to our young completers, may we have our Education Program Supervisor in Edukasyon sa Pagpapakatao, Madam Shirley F. Lilang, to be assisted by our School Principal 2, Ma'am May L. Mabella, for the distribution of certificate for completion.
And now, let us start giving the certificates of completion. So, may we have the class advisor of Grade 10 Aguinaldo, Ma'am Grazel L. Campbell.
I have the honor and privilege to present to you the completers of Grade 10 Aguinaldo. Male, Atilano Christian Kent Fabila. Butulan Steven Bacaser. Bundal Ivan J. Mahinay. Kabasag R.J. Anuling. Cayabo John Maro Fabila, Datang Gerald De Vera, De Luz Clint Justin Jurada, Delan Brent Ariel Rondina, Dicen Mark Jasper Mahinay, Frago Janelle Ravanso, Gatchalian Jeff Abid, Halipa Sherhan Omar, Imperial Bien Dominic Tapalia, Hagnis Van J. Alcantara, Morales Jomel Duterte, Panaligan Alwin Remo, Saguno Prince John Balbao, Salibio Abil Tumpong, Siracarpio Dwight Simon Batul, Silvestre Serwin Rubilo, Supe Manuel Acta, Tio Miguel Barrientos, Valenzuela Guillermo Jr. Eustaquio, Viliano Christian Tony Labutoy, and Viterbo Carl Kobe Bacolod. Female, Aborot Gurley Evena, Aseremo Danica Cabutaje, Bitasolo Maria Eileen Joy Militar, Bundak Jambi Kasungkad, Kalmani Mary Grace Marudin, Chua Hana Dalis, Dicen Shinamay Timpaso, Evangelista Jessamay Morales, Fortunato I. Shikail Morales, Gabriel Princess Joy Rialon, Lingaw-Lingaw Altea Esguera, Medrano Clarissa Nicole Pelizarte, Movera Ivy Veron Arreglo, Nava Elamay Nalaunan, Paklib Precious Erali Dumaraog, Radok Sharona Andao, Ratay Gwyneth May Opiala, Rodriguez Angelica Galalan, Sumandal Micaela Gian Sia, Tria Rosaline Canillo, Trinidad Baby J. Lapore, and Veracel Aura Grace Cruz.
And now, let us move forward to Grade 10 Bonifacio and their advisor, Ma'am Fia May G. Salo.
Presenting to you are the completers from Grade 10 Bonifacio. Andal Kier Zaijen Villegas, Bacaltos Kenneth Sabuya, Bacolod Joshua Dalumpines, Barcoma Stephen Banquil, Basa Jasper Colinas, Conde June Stewart Cayaon, Stasyon Carl Nino Gaitan, Fuentes Kurt Lawrence Bernardo, Hamora John Ray Luban, Haranilia Clarence Kit Villarin, Mariano John Cedric Paras, Medina Justin Mark Anthony Lorenzo, Rojas Jr. Federico Albito, Sanchez Vincent Tisorio, Suplito Rainier John Jr. Andrade, Toyko Christian J. Ogto Kyle Ron Simon, Villanueva Jesse Sayang, Villaran Simon Pilapil. Female, Abuno Jonabel Narido, Arzaga Altea Idosora, Aton Marie Angelica Piamonte, Batalia R.J., Cañete Maria Alexa Alino, Concha Mariel Ann Trinidad, Dalef Arceline Revillas, De la Cruz Edlin Rodriguez, De la Cruz Genevieve Tulin, De la Cruz Ilona Jean Omblat, De la Cruz Jeneline Perocho, Du Jeneline Makiling, Isparas Rochelle Flores, Lucio Christy Fem Rose Cordero, Makiling Jenjeline, Mundigo Danica, Navarro Eden Abu, Olaybar Ricalin Ondot, Umaga Kayla Maril Burado, Palamos Angelica Carino, Panado Ivy Elio, Peña Natalie Faye Bravo, Spinlac Sherlyn Gomez. Salvador Jenny Orcajada. Sungkan Astrid Bernabe. Valdez Heart Romantico. And Zamora Cecil Canan.
Let us welcome the Grade 10 Del Pilar, their advisor, Ma'am Jillian Fernandez.
It is my honor and privilege to present the completers of Grade 10 Del Pilar, starting off with the male, Amangka Jampet Kenneth Blanco. Boko John Frank de los Reyes. Bonbon Jake Cayapas. Buksit Robert Muico. Burgos Bonandro Ribanuel. Cabanilla John Kirby Yamera. Copio Prince Jacob Fama. Puyo Harvey Malvas. Dalupan Mark Lawrence Bataga. Dolorfino Russell Hermosura. Estrada Vladimir Tokire. Guevara Alexander Inkig. Ibay Aaron Dales. Madrigalejo Edmar. Madrugaba John Armel Norico. Natividad Jason J. Resilia. Ondot Kian Ryle Madamay. Arange John Fred. Piano Ronel Camiging. Lucas Jen Jonathan Garcia. Estilia Chris Jason Natividad. Salvador Christopher Ivan. Sarino Ansti Putay. Silvestre Easy Lexper Embile. Velete Randall John Lopez. And Versosa Jimboy Lausing. Female Bayon Erica de la Cruz. Alabado Meryl Simblante. Aquino Bea de los Reyes. Bangkairin Nicole Cayapas. Contreras Princess May Atrero. Damasco Mariel Grace Basa. Del Mundo Jana Santuyo. De la Cruz MJ Badajos. Francisco Ronabel Baaco. Gara Jerry Nia Daquan. Mirasol Justin Kate Loyola. Malvizar Enid Kathleen Akma. Navilla Tracy Salaysay. Nicolas Maria Rica Deville. Pampanga Ina Clarice Paredes. Rosales Raiza Ann Gimiroy. Saldino Jovelyn Arenas. Silverio Jasmine K. Cayapas. Torio Althea Julie Pearl Carino. Trestiza Ivy Noriel Juan. And Villa Carlos Jana Lawrence Pataga.
At this juncture, let us have the grade 10 Jacinto and their advisor, Sir Ariel I. Machito.
Presenting to you are the completers of grade 10 Jacinto. Male, Alba Junior Edmundo Panes. Baak Edrian Sumido. Cornejo Raymark Barbacena. Corona Mario Hiram Jr. Gallego. Dilarama Jantad Gunners Jr. Reveral. Scala Rex Cornelio. Gibara Christian Bahero. Limba Arnold Jr. Esma. Makula Ivan Dominic Gonzalez. Monares Stephen Rodriguez. Ondot Jose Madamay. Pascua Boss Junard Buates. Ponce Prince Kyle Hernandez. Ponce de Leon Den Paul Biliosilio. Rabilista Romel Noha. Sayas Jade Decon. Shokon Renz Brian. Santo Tomas Brian John Mark Ligaspi. Tabanyag John Teo Puno. Tabas-Tabas John Lennox Bahero. Talua Ider Montenegro. Trinidad John Zeus Tumulak. Female Bolos Jasmine Aralar. Kalimbas Bernadette Limos. Calvo Resapina Joy Marasigan. Caubalejo Francine de la Cruz. Coliantes Rosela Labotoy. Curitao Laika Jane Padejas. Dangatan Roxanne May Cuarteros. Dumdum Daphne Oblan. Fernandez Charmaine May Fabila. Garciliano Lorraine Joy Purpose. Eleazar Richel Cari Baros. Hunggayo Rhea May Wasawas. Lauren Donna May Tilo. Lozano Dia Cabarles. Makahilos Gina Bantilio. Magbanwa Trixie Magura. Manlavi Trichiaan Salunday. Minorca Berlin Navarro. Navarro Angeline Namia. Oman Rhea Gumadlas. Parange Ellen Joy. Salas Erica Edosora. Sanchez Cristina Daro. Singson Elamay Cantanero. Tahil Donna Alonsagay.
Moving on to the completers of grade 10 Luna with our advisor, Ma'am Catherine J. Hompilla.
It is my honor and privilege to present to you the completers from grade 10 Luna. Starting off with male completers. Alcantara Adolf John Jerome. Bacolod Jasper Galugines. Bagona Mark Joshua Amaro. Batul John Paul Bartolata. Benigno Erwin Aquino. Bobadilla Ken Kirby Amora. Kalilong Richard Capin. Camilon Mike Steven Rodriguez. Cavite Jr. Glenn Orieta. Cordova Jeric Mama. De La Cruz Cyril Joshua Ignacio. Dinovo Reindel J. Capin. Tumaran Rostico Soles. Gabwa Mateo Calipayan. Laporga Neo Castillo. Madarco Sherwin Harold Blanco. Makiling Joshua Ortiz. Olyabe Mark Angel Awit. Pagobo Adrian Angeles. Ruiz Jr. Ferdinand Hanairo. Salunday J.R. Revillas. Sanchez Mark Louis Bungkag. And Sauro John Carl Hinda. Moving on to female completers. Ake Marian Cayapas. Arenas Jeneline Racuya. Baltasar Eliza Banawas. Bonbon Jasmine Sapitanan. Calda Shahana Rain Taneo. Kalisang Isajin Caballero. Quezon. Deliera Diana Rose Terapin. Dinpas Jonel Cabrigas. Igana Regeline Kumahi. Gallego Crystal Joy Fabila. Garganera Emily Tribunalo. Glory Jocelyn Del Rosario. Magwale Melchel Asheros Hanmayro. Mendoza Maxine May Espiritu. Montiel Prisian May Blanco. Opialaan Dominic Tabe. Pabico Princess Althea Alcala. Paran Althea Grizel Rata. Parcia Marijoy de la Cruz. Pascual Shamela Jade Salibio. Remiendo Aliana Luis Cayabyab. Sasidon John Axel Itak. And Verocel Griselmay Selma. Congratulations! Thank you.
Let us have the grade 10 result and their advisor, Ma'am Eleanor M. Herodel.
Presenting to you are the completers from grade 10 Rizal. Alibar Melvin Agbon. Basho Sam Derlich Earl. Kadag James Ronnie Briones. Canaria Dwayne Claude J. Rodriguez. Cardihon Renard Corrado. Kasantosan Algison Dalgo. Chan Lloyd Palisarte. Egana John Loren Kumahi. Estrada Grapevine Danielo Carcelier. Eugenio Vince Joshua de la Cruz. Irinco Estra Navilla. Hoxon Chester Bacolo. Magpili Chris Dumber Sanchez. Miguel Ricardo II Gonzalez. Nava James Kerbin Carl Tampos. Novella Renar Palisa. Ogo Ralph Lawrence Imboy. Pakaige Jr. Marcelo Imperido. Salibio Rayan Andre Laurente. Salibio Ron Jeric Fernandez. Santiago Jr. Danilo Aguilar. Sayas Jimwell Deco. Sumayang Ludim Labitoria. Villegas Richie Mangitngit. Jacob Jr. Reynaldo Katinggu. Female Aguilon Danica Mundido. Arconada Cheryl Padon. Bayed Jamaica U. Betasolo Mary Irene Joy Militar. Kalan Casely Flores. Gavino Angel Ain Aguirre. Gurat Jean Rina La Rosa. Idosora Yumi Badenas. Matula Krishaline Inga. Optana Noraline Belda. Omar Jaira Ali. Palomo Mariel Ann Bula. Pareño Michelle Ann Jelly Mancera. Rojas Winley Ann Gadwena. Rosales Arian Rose Borales. Rosales Roxanne Mariel Bacaltos. Salazar Maria Juldine Olasiman. Saplot Grace Arsenal. Sayang Anami De La Torre. Supe Michelle Acta. Timbresa April Nicole Ortiz. Behano Kimberly Kane Labitan. And Binsang Roslyn Gimbagan.
Congratulations, completers, and thank you so much to our dear grade 10 advisors and to our principal, Ma'am May Elma Belia, together with our education program supervisor, Ma'am Shirley F. Lilang.
And now, for the most awaited part of our program, especially for the parents and completers who will be awarded for showing exemplary academic performance amidst COVID-19 pandemic. These awardees of academic excellence have been determined by the awards committee and duly approved by our school principal too, Ma'am May Elma Belia. Completers with honors and their parents will receive a medal and certificate of recognition.
Presenting the awardees for Academic Excellence Award.
Abono Jonabel N. with high honors.
Her parents are Mr. Abel E. Abono and Mrs. Jonalyn N. Abono. Ake Marian C. with high honors. Her parents are Mrs. Lorne C. Ake and Mr. Mamerto N. Ake.
Bercoma Stephen B. with high honors.
His parents is Mrs. Mary Meldy B. Barcoma. Batalia R. Jane with high honors. Her parents is Mrs. Annie Jane P. Batalia.
Bolos Jasmine A. with high honors.
And her parents are Mrs. Jeanette A. Bolos and Mr. Milanio D. Bolos. Garganera Emily T. with high honors. Her parents are Mrs. Arlene T. Garganera and Mr. Francisco B. Garganera.
Magbanwa Trixie M. with high honors.
Her parents are Mrs. Wilma M. Magbanwa and Mr. Nilo T. Magbanwa. Ogok Ralph Lawrence I. with high honors. His parents are Mrs. Mary Grace I. Ogok and Mr. Edgar B. Ogok.
Olivar Riquelin O. with high honors.
Her parent is Mrs. Helen O. Olivar. Ruiz Jr. Ferdinand J. with high honors. His parents are Mrs. Christine J. Ruiz and Mr. Ferdinand Ruiz Sr.
Saguno Trans John B. with high honors.
His parents are Mr. and Mrs. Marciano E. Saguno. Sumandal Micaela Gian C. with high honors. Her parents are Mr. and Mrs. Michael E. Sumandal.
And Veracel Aura Gracie with high honors.
And her parents are Mr. and Mrs. Joel A. Veracel. Congratulations, completers, for a job well done, and to the proud parents.
Wow! Once again, congratulations, completers and their parents for a job well done. At this moment, we will be watching series of messages coming from the respected offices of the Department of Education. An inspirational message coming from the office of the DepEd Secretary, the Honorable Dr. Leonor M. Briones.
Good day to each and everyone who is attending virtually present at this time of our graduation ceremonies for our beloved and very precious graduates for the school year which ends at this time. First of all, I'd like to greet the parents and family members without whose sacrifices, whose reminders, and whose participation in the learning process for our graduates have resulted in this culmination program. This year, your role has changed drastically, where we've always thought, we've always believed that the matter of educating our children rests nearly exclusively on our teachers and our staff. This time, you parents, you family members, you who are in the households of our learners have expanded your role and contributed to this wonderful day wherein finally our learners are graduating in this culmination exercise. So congratulations, because this year has not been very easy, has not been a picnic for our teachers, for our family members, as well, especially the parents, mothers, fathers, sisters, brothers, and all who have contributed to the achievement of our learners at this time. So, maraming salamat at congratulations, parents and family members. Mas malaki ang role ninyo at this time compared to earlier graduation exercises. Secondly, I would also like to greet our teachers, without whose very careful review and careful supervision of the work of our pupils and our learners, this event would not be taking place at all. And so thank you, teachers. Your role has also expanded, in addition to seeing to it that the modules are faithfully followed, the assignments are correctly implemented, and the learners are truly learning. And you have had to deal with new ways of assessing the performance also of the learners. So congratulations, teachers, for enduring, for your patience, for your love for our learners, and your willingness to engage in a way and methods of teaching which are different from those which are used to. Assessment must have been especially difficult for you, especially since you were not able to see most of the time our students in face-to-face meetings, and most of the meetings, of course, were virtual. We'd also like to thank the local government units for their interest, for their cooperation, and for their continuing contributions to the needs of education, even as our children do not go to school. Your donations of material as well as financial resources at this time are most welcome, and your advice has been taken seriously not only by our teachers, by our school officials, but also by our officials in the Department of Education. We continually talk with local government units, especially in times of disaster, in times of great need for classrooms, for space, and for responses to unforeseen emergencies. Thank you, local government units. But of course, most of the congratulatory greetings fall on the deserving graduate. Each and every one of you is truly special. You are different from the other graduates who have passed through the portals of your school. You went to school practically without seeing your teachers, if at all. You went to school with your parents, your mothers, and your fathers hovering over your shoulders and seeing to it that you are able to complete your assignments. You are completing your studies at a time when examinations and assessments are different. You are culminating these long months of hard work at this time, even as you have to do family chores, even as you are distracted, and even as your world has turned upside down, and it seems and it appears as if we don't know what the future holds and what will happen next. But you have persevered, and now you are ready to graduate. And therefore, you deserve each and every bit of congratulations from us in the Department of Education, from your parents and family members, your teachers, from the officials in local government, as well as in the parent teachers associations. You deserve each and every single congratulatory pat on your back, each hug virtually, of course, and each greeting, which I am sure you are also receiving virtually. I don't know if you will remember this event many, many years from now. I have tried to recall myself who our graduation speaker was when I finished high school and when I finished my college studies. All I remember is that the graduation speaker was someone important, someone who was invited because that someone is supposed to give a message. What was more important to us graduates at that time was the excitement of the celebrations, the happiness and the joy of our parents, the sadness of parting from our classmates and from our teachers, and the enjoyment of all the graduation events that usually take place come commencement day. When I was a college student, we had a series of events which were designed to embed in our minds which were designed to help us remember and not forget our days in college. We would spend one whole day going around the campus, visiting the classrooms, saying goodbye to our teachers, and sharing memories. We would have bonfires to say goodbye to each other. We had baccalaureate services where we committed ourselves to God and we prayed for guidance when we go out into the world. So many celebrations, and the speaker, of course, is the least important and easily forgotten component of the graduation exercise. Nonetheless, I will exert all efforts to share with you what I see are things or issues which a graduate should remember and recall. I have said that you are very special. You are very different. You are pioneering. There has been no other class like your class. There has been no other graduate like you as a graduating student because you are the very first graduate of the blended learning response to education in the Philippines. And so you ask yourself, what awaits you in the world outside? You can either work because the kind of curriculum you survived and underwent as a student will enable you to go to work if you wish to go to work. Some of you will proceed to further studies, and this would be a wonderful thing because there are many opportunities for further expanding your knowledge, for further answering and looking for explanations of issues, events that make you curious, especially in science, in technology, and also in the arts. So you can work, you can go to further studies, and perhaps some of you will settle down, hopefully not too soon, so you can pursue what you really want to do. So today, this is why we call this exercise a commencement exercise. It's not the end of our studies. It's not the end of all our efforts with blended learning, with modules, with floods, with earthquakes, and of course with COVID. It's a commencement of doors opening to you. More doors will be opened because you are a graduate. You can work, you can proceed for further studies, you can help your parents, and you can perhaps look for opportunities to do what you have always wanted to do, whether at work, whether at advanced studies, whether at learning more in science and technology, in mathematics, and in the arts. All of these opportunities are available to you. More doors are being opened. I hope you will select the door which arouses your curiosity, the door which will help you know more about this world, and the door which will allow you to contribute to the development of our country and contribute whatever we can to solve our problems and our challenges. Congratulations once more to each and every one of you. Congratulations to you, parents, and family members. Congratulations to you, teachers. When I was chair of the board of Silliman University, each time we had graduation ceremonies, during the baccalaureate and during commencement itself, I would cry. I would cry because you are sending out into the world a new batch of graduates, and we want to be sure that what is awaiting them is appropriate. We want to be sure that they are ready for what awaits them when they select which door to open. And so, we tell you, go out to the world, do whatever you want to do. God be with you, and be assured that all of us love each and every one of you. Congratulations.
Another message will be coming from the Office of the Regional Director of the Department of Education Region 4 Mimaropa, Dr. Nicolas T. Capulong, CESO 5, Director 4.
To our distinguished guests, our Schools Division Superintendent, Assistant Schools Division Superintendent, and other Schools Division officials and personnel. To our school heads, teachers, and staff. To everyone present in this platform, a great day to all of you. Greetings of safety and protection to our graduates and completers this school year 2020-2021. Congratulations, everyone. In spite of continuing limitations brought about by COVID-19 pandemic, your resilience and perseverance as Filipino learners really shone through, once again proving how much you put premium on your education and on your future. You rose above all adversities, moved forward, and showed this country, this region, that nothing is impossible when you place your education at the top of your priorities. Again, kudos to all of you. This school year, the education of our children was triumphantly continued, implemented, and completed. However, this success is not attributed to DepEd alone, but more so to our parents, to our barangay officials, to our mayors, governors, and representatives, to our education partners, to our entire communities, and of course, to our teachers and learners. Thank you very much for wholeheartedly embracing all these changes and for supporting all our reforms, programs, and advocacies. This tremendous success is the fruit of our unwavering faith in each other. This year's theme is strengthening quality education amid COVID-19 pandemic. Serves as the continuing guide to all the good work that we have started, while refining those that needs improvement. In the midst of this pandemic, the challenge to provide a strong education becomes more profound. We have yet to see the end of this health crisis. But with the collaborative efforts of everyone, we shall again rise above. We have done it last year, and we can do it better this school year. Like a soldier in a battle, we remain standing, brave and strong to continue on. Challenges are hurdles that will make us more innovative, more resilient than ever. Armed with knowledge and experiences that we have gathered last year, we will use all those to help one another, we will welcome good experiences and best practices that speak of great and relevant programs and projects. But of course, our top priority will always remain to be the health and safety of everyone. So, dear pupils and students, be wise, continue learning, and set big goals for your future. Work on attaining your dreams and encounter failures, but do not ever quit. Pray for courage and always listen to your heart. God is always in control and He will never forsake us. Stay motivated and confident, for this pandemic shall end eventually. And when that happens, all together, we will look forward to a brighter, COVID-free tomorrow. Again, congratulations everyone, and God bless us all.
Another message from the Office of Schools Division Superintendent of Puerto Princesa City Division, Sir Serviliano A. Arzaga, CESA 5.
Greetings, everyone. It is with pride and joy that I greet all the completers and graduates of Batch 2021 of the Schools Division of Puerto Princesa City. Despite of the COVID-19 pandemic that we continue to experience, putting us all in difficult life situation, you survived and emerged winners in your pursuit of education. For more than a year now, since you stopped going to school, attend your classes physical, face-to-face with your classmates and teachers, you have proven to the world that no pandemic can stop you from learning, and that education must continue no matter what. And you all made it to this big day, your completion and graduation day. Though virtually, the exciting ambience of an actual graduation ceremony may not be there, the hugs and kisses of friends and loved ones may be absent, but the feeling of love and happiness is there in your heart, in the company of your family, in the comfort of your home. God is good all the time. Things happen for a reason. At the end of this trying time, we'll see the light and savor blessings from God. Be strong, move on, continue to navigate towards your goals in ambition. God will carry you. For those who have been with you throughout your journey, your parents and family, your teachers, your alma mater, smile at them and say, "Thank you. It is my prayer that a better future awaits you. Go for it. Have faith in God. Trust in Him." To all of you, congratulations.
As the school year 2020-2021 ends, I am extending my warmest greetings and congratulations to all the completers and graduates of elementary and secondary schools of the Schools Division of Puerto Princesa City. These moving up exercises, completion and graduation ceremonies mark as significant milestones to the learners for their educational achievements. This year's theme, Strengthening the Quality of Education Amid the COVID-19 Pandemic, focuses on how the Department of Education, this division, all the schools in all levels, our stakeholders, both internal and external, have forged and collaborated towards the fulfillment of our educational goals despite the challenges brought about by this pandemic. May I take the opportunity to acknowledge the following key players whose diligence and concerted efforts made possible the implementation and delivery of basic education to our learners. School heads for the struggles and extra miles rendered to keep track, provide directions to your teachers, and navigate your respective schools in ensuring the learning continuity of the learners. To the teachers who are dubbed as our unsung heroes for your resilience and hard work in performing your tasks beyond limits, and for the sacrifices and guidance accorded to your students. Likewise, I am also recognizing the support provided by our non-teaching personnel, parents and guardians, for being our partners and acting as teacher aides to your children, and for having filled that gap in the absence of face-to-face classes in schools. At this time of pandemic, you have again proven that parents are the first teachers of their children. Thank you so much for the great roles you embraced and continuously supporting the DepEd. And lastly, to the completers and graduates, I am celebrating with you your success, that even with the sudden change in the learning modalities, some imperfections, inadequacies, and other challenges brought about by this pandemic, you were able to survive and become victorious. As you move to the next ladder of education, be more focused and determined, work hard, and keep the faith to fulfill your dreams and aspirations. Again, congratulations to all of you, and God bless.
At this juncture, let us hear the words of gratitude from the completer who received the highest distinction as completer with high honors, Micaela Gian C. Sumandal, for her words of gratitude. Let's give her a virtual applause.
Do not let novel coronavirus disease, or commonly called COVID-19, affects our scholastic journey. Let the virus have fear in us, instead by being unshakable through persistent learning. Sa aming school principal May L. Mabella, respetado mga guro, mga magulang, masisikap na mag-aaral ng Sicsican National Junior High School Batch 2021 at sa lahat ng mga manonood ng live completion ceremony na ito. Maraming salamat at magandang hapon po. I never knew that I would be here standing before you. I was lucky enough to be chosen to speak today and to give these words of gratitude. As I am standing here beyond this podium, I would claim to know each and every one of you well, but that doesn't make us complete strangers. Maybe your best friend is also my friend. Maybe we only walk past each other once in a while in hallways during face-to-face learning setting and never spoke up. But in one way or another, our paths have crossed. Although there's some inconveniences, the Sicsican National High School building is a home for all of us. Today, I would like to highlight a few things that have contributed to my scholastic journey, and I believe that you all have come across to similar and same experiences. Una, bilang isang mag-aaral ay hindi makakatakas na makaranas ng hirap. Hirap na gawa ng estado sa buhay at hirap na tawag ng mga kinakailangan sa paaralan, kaya ng assignments, projects, activities, and research. Tama po ba ako? Naranasan po ba ninyo yon? Sigurado ako, oo ang sagot ninyo. Ako, bilang isang anak at panganay na miyembro ng aming pamilya, masasabi kong danas ko ang lahat ng yan gaya ng mga naranasan ninyo. O masasabi kong baka masigit pa. Sa ganitong karanasan, napagtanto ko na ako man ay naapektuhan. Subalit, kailangan kong maging matatag sa kabila ng minsan ay hindi ko maiwasang umiyak. Magkagayon man, ay pinagpapasalamat ko pa rin sa Diyos ang lahat. Pangalawa, despite of all these challenges and hardships, I can't help but compare the circumstances on the part and role played by my parents. Like many others, my father is a humble man who used to work hard for us. With all his effort and determination, all he wanted is to give what we need and pay all our bills and debts. Since very young, we see our father too seldom because he works in an island afar from us, off about 5 hours land from the city. And in 2 months, he only came home for a few days to take his rest days. Until now, yes, he has the same situation. I can imagine how my father endures such sacrifices. The feeling of being away from his children, to my mama, the travel he used to take to and from the city even at night just to catch his time of duty. His whole day spent to serve his company for several years, and even spending time to treat us out during his days off instead of taking his rest, and many more. Yes, the same with our mama, who relentlessly take care for us. Her budgeting techniques out of a small amount of money she keeps to cover up everything. For making our education needs as priority, her unending reminder to us to become good children and value education and respect. And most of all of her teachings is our primary teacher. Papa, Mama, thank you very much for all of your sacrifices for us. We love you very much. You are the best Papa and Mama, the Superman and Superwoman we ever had. Salamat po. The parents of this batch of completers, maraming salamat din po sa inyo. Sa pagtaguyod at paghubog sa inyong mga anak, kayo po ay superhero para sa kanila. Salamat po. Pangatlo, as I may recall, being a junior high school student is half of laughter and half of perspiration. Sabi nga nila, ang high school days daw ang pinakamasasayang chapters ng buhay ng isang tao. Agree ba kayo? 4 years ago, this batch of 2021 was just walking through the hallways, the school ground, and even along the streets nearby Sicsican National High School. And we have had many memories over the course of our junior high school journey. Natatandaan ko pa, kapag kapapasok, hanggang pauwi na, hindi mapigilang mawala yung ngiti. Kahit pagpagod sa maghapon, ramdam pa rin yung saya kahit pagod na, kahit pauwi na. Kapag mayroong mga programs kung saan lahat ng estudyante nagtitipon sa gymnasium at nagkakasiyahan, lalo na kapag nutrition month, buwan ng wika at marami pang iba. Nakakamiss. Ang dami mga pangyayari noong face-to-face class na talagang nakakamiss. We, our class of 2021, not just because we heard our way pass every year, but because we put in the hard work and the effort to get where we are today. And we could not have done that without our friends, family, and teachers who constantly encouraging us to keep up the good work. Tulad nga ng isang quote mula kay Confucius, success depends upon previous preparation, and without such preparation, there is sure to be failure. Kaya naniniwala ako na hindi natin mararating ang puntong ito kung hindi tayo lahat nagsumikap. Nakisama sa ating mga kaklase at kaibigan, nakinig sa mga aral na turo ng ating mga guro, at higit sa lahat, ang sumunod sa ating mga magulang. Dahil dyan, we have to be proud because we did it. Salamat sa inyong lahat. The fourth and the last thing that I want to highlight is the impact of COVID-19 pandemic. It was December 2019 when the spread of coronavirus has started. The last quarter of our school year in our 9th grade was ongoing until March 2020 when lockdowns all over the city have been imposed, of course to avoid the spread of the said virus and to save everyone. Many were affected even until now, and also all students like us have to suffer. Debates on how to continue the education system have become a big issue to tackle
with which almost made our learning put at stake. We got worried, yes. We even thought the schooling might have to stop. Teachers were accosted to think of strategies on how to continue. They almost spent many sleepless nights just to cope up with the situation and make a breakthrough for an excellent learning and teaching method over above this pandemic. Para sa maraming estudyanteng tulad ko, ay hindi naging maganda at katanggap-tanggap sa simula ang panibagong pamamaraan ng aming pag-aaral. Ang tinatawag na online classes or virtual learning sa new normal ay bago sa ating lahat. It was so depressing and made me to almost quit due to the new system of education. Ang bukang bibig ko lagi, sana ibalik na ang face-to-face na may buong emosyon at paghihinayang at tila bagay nagsisilbing battle cry ko o naming mga mag-aaral dahil doon kami nasanay. I remember a few times that I had to rush to my tito's house dahil kailangan kong pumasok sa virtual class sa kadahilan ng naputol na ang aming internet connection at wala pang pambayad. Alam kong bawal lumabas, subalit I need to make a way to catch the class. I need to disguise and wear something as if I look at age who are allowed to go out para makasakay ng multicam at hindi mapansin ng mga bantay sa checkpoint. Virtual class requires internet, kaya kailangan kong gawin to dahil I was left with no choice dala ng kahirapang dulot ng pandemya. I need to be present at all times as goal. Napakahirap isipin sa murang edad na to. Nating mga kapwa ko completers ay kailangang maranasan ng ganitong estilo ng edukasyon. Napakahirap at minsan ay hindi umaayon sa panahon at kalagayan nating mga mag-aaral. Modules are overwhelming, which sometimes tempted me to look at the keynotes to finish it easily. But I thought that it was not right. Am I just fooling myself if I do so? Thus, I push myself to do it the right way because I realize that module is the best way for us to continue with our learning even at home and save us from the deadly virus. Kaya nga nung bigyan kami ng research report as a final requirement for our English subject, my groupmates and I came up with an idea to find out the COVID-19 effects of new normal to the new educational performance of the junior high school students. The results of our study confirmed that all of the respondents, junior high school students of Sicsican National High School, have endured the impact of new normal setting and eventually they have coped up with it somehow. Despite all of these excruciating experiences, still it turned out to be a blessing because we already understand the beauty in it. We have fully coped up with it and we already accepted the new normal with the wish na sana ay bumalik ang lahat sa normal. It came up to my realization that no matter how difficult life and circumstances can be, there's always hope that will wipe away our worries and problems. Trust ourselves. Obey our parents. Listen to our teachers. Follow the instructions as we are told. And most of all, have faith in God. With that, everything will lay down accordingly and smoothly. Before I end this lengthy speech, I would like to cite another Confucius quote. It says that the will to win, the desire to succeed, the urge to reach your full potential, these are the keys that will unlock the door to personal excellence. In behalf of Batch 2021, I, Micaela G. and Saya Sumandala, grateful for this opportunity to speak in front of you. Once again, to our school administrators, teachers, faculty, parents, and all of you completers of school year 2020 to 2021. It is another year of successful endeavor to all of us. It is indeed with heartfelt gratitude to say, maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat. Pagpalain nawa tayo ng buong may kapal sa lahat ng panahon. Mabuhay, completers of Batch 2020-2021.
Thank you so much, Micaela, for that very heart-moving message of gratitude. And now, we will be hearing the completers of Batch 2021 for their completion song rendition entitled Moment by Julie Durden.
We might not be walking across that stage with the cameras flashing. They've been waiting on our day. It's been a journey, hasn't it? I wouldn't trade a moment. No, I wouldn't change a moment. I'm who I am because of you. Whether we know each other for just a year or two, and I'm grateful for all the time we put in, getting us through this moment, so we could get to this moment. We may not be throwing our caps in the air, but our spirit will rise anywhere. Remember our home is filled with memories and friends. I wouldn't trade a moment. No, I wouldn't change a moment. I'm who I am because of you. Whether we know each other for just a year or two, and I'm grateful for the hard times we've had. They'll get us through life's moment. Yeah, they'll get us through life's moments. If you're wondering, feeling really so scared about your brand new start, don't get discouraged. Keep showing your courage, 'cause that's who we are. I'm who I am because of you. Whether we know each other or just a year or two, and I'm grateful for the times we've everywhere, so we can be in this moment, right here in this moment. I'm grateful for new beginnings, right here in this moment.
A warm and safe afternoon to everyone. To the Schools Division Superintendent, Sir Serviliano A. Arzaga, to Ma'am Shirley F. Lilang, Education Program Supervisor 1, parents, and to all the members of the Sicsican National High School community, good afternoon. Today is a celebration of all that is good about our students, teachers, parents, and the school. I am happy and proud to have joined you, my dear completers, on your completion ceremony. Congratulations to the 2021 completers of Sicsican National High School. As we come to the end of this very unique and challenging school year, I would like to take a few moments to acknowledge everyone for successfully reaching this year-end rights. To the Schools Division Office, headed by Sir Serviliano A. Arzaga, to Ma'am Shirley F. Lilang, our parent supervisor, and the rest of the Division Office personnel, we are so grateful for the guidance and support you extended to me in leading and managing Sicsican National High School during the most challenging moments of the preparations and implementation on the shifting of learning delivery mode from face-to-face classes to distance learning modality, and that we were able to reach this far amidst the threat of the COVID-19 virus. I extend my appreciation to our City Mayor Lucilo R. Bayron for the overwhelming support to schools through the provision of resources for the learning materials and the deployment of local school board teachers to our school. I express my thanks to our community partners as well. To Cap Bobby Parange, we felt that our community was there in our time of need. To everyone within the organization of Sicsican National High School, thank you for your willingness and support when we shifted our learning delivery modality from face-to-face to modular distance learning. We all pulled together to completely rethink the way we do the teaching-learning process, the school maintenance, and its operations. I say thank you to the 63 teaching force of Sicsican National High School for your commitment to your job to deliver instruction to our learners, starting with your sleepless nights in the crafting of self-learning modules, to printing, sorting, packing, until the modules reach our learners. Not to mention the weekly home learning plans and intervention materials that you all prepared to ensure that our learners are guided as they learn from home and avail of the quality education they deserve during this time of pandemic. Your daily messages, phone calls, virtual meetings, and all of the other out-of-the-box ideas helped keep our students connected to school. Thank you and congratulations. You did a great job. Of course, to our admin, accounting, support staff, and RISO operators who pulled together to help our students, teachers, and our families and each other. I acknowledge the dedicated service of the head teachers, subject coordinators, and the teachers who were given special assignments this year. Without your commitment and support to our teachers, we would not have been able to sustain the delivery of learning and resource materials to our learners. This work could not have been done without you. I also commend the parents of our learners. Parents, perhaps you are helping more with your child's learning than you ever have before. We know it is not easy balancing working from home, your weekly schedule to claim and return the learning materials, your child's access to the class and subject group chats, and helping with their schoolwork. Dear parents, we are greatly indebted to the perseverance that you have given to your children during this crisis. Of course, my greatest applause goes to our 2021 completers. You faced the school year with courage and resilience. I am grateful for that strength. Students, we thank you for your resiliency and flexibility as you meet the challenges and opportunities that came with modular distance learning environment using your printed modules. I wish to see you in our senior high school classrooms if the situation will allow us. To all the members of Sicsican National High School community, along with our school partners, together we have responded to the best of our ability and in the best interest of our students. For that, I am beyond grateful to all of you. Mabuhay po kayong lahat at maraming salamat po.
And that concludes the 6th virtual completion ceremony of Sicsican National High School. Once again, I am Joey L. Huerte.
And I am Bethel Angelique Zayli Muaco,
saying, congratulations and mabuhay tayong lahat!
Congratulations, completers, and to your proud parents. Go forth, grow, and be successful. A philosopher once said, success is not a failure. Failure is not fatal, but it is the courage to continue that counts.
And that concludes the first part of our virtual completion ceremony for the school year 2020-2021. At this juncture, ladies and gentlemen, we will be witnessing the awarding of medals and certificates to completers who receive Academic Excellence Award together with their proud parents. These awardees are from the grade 10 sections Aguinaldo, Bonifacio, Del Pilar, Jacinto, Luna, and Rizal. Congratulations, completers, and thank you so much to our dear grade 10 advisors and to our principal, Ma'am May L. Mabella, together with our education program supervisor, Ma'am Shirley F. Lilang.
And now, for the most awaited part of our program, especially for the parents and completers, who will be awarded for showing exemplary academic performance amidst COVID-19 pandemic. These awardees of academic excellence have been determined by the awards committee and duly approved by our school principal too, Ma'am May L. Mabella. Completers with honors and their parents will receive a medal and certificate of recognition.
Abayon Erica D. with honors. Her parents are Mr. and Mrs. Ponciano T. Abayon. Amangka Jumpet Kenneth B. with honors. His parents are Mr. and Mrs. Juancho C. Amangka. Andal Kier Sijan V. with honors. His parents are Mr. and Mrs. Jenda and Malcolm G. Andal. Arenas Jeneline R. with honors. Her parents is Miss Rosemary R. Arenas. Atilano Christian Kent F. with honors. His parents are Mr. and Mrs. Abner C. Atilano. Bagona Mark Joshua A. with honors. His parent is Mrs. Saul M. Bagona. Baltazar Eliza B. with honors. Her parent is Mrs. Jeneline B. Baltazar. Bangkairin Nicole C. with honors. Her parents are Mr. and Mrs. Judicio C. Bangkairin Jr. Benigno Erwin A. with honors. His parents are Mr. and Mrs. Gina and Edwin Benigno. Bobadilla Kent Kirby A. with honors. His parents are Mr. and Mrs. Dulce and Kenneth Bobadilla. Bonbon Jasmine S. with honors. Her parents are Mr. and Mrs. Jaya and Tammy Bonbon. Kadag James Ronit B. with honors. His parents are Mr. and Mrs. Ronji and Pio Kadag. Kalan Cassie Lee F. with honors. Her parents are Mr. and Mrs. Aurora and Bayani Kalan. Halda Shahana Rain T. with honors. Her parents are Mr. and Mrs. Francis Eric A. Calda. Kalimbas Bernadette L. with honors. Her parent is Mr. Bernard C. Kalimbas. Calvo Rizafina Joy M. with honors. Her parent is Mr. Rizador A. Calvo. Camilon Mike Steven R. with honors. His parents are Mr. and Mrs. Edna and Doming Camilon. Cañete Maria Alexa A. with honors. Her parents are Mr. and Mrs. Margie and Ricky B. Cañete. Casantosan Elgison D. with honors. His parent is Mrs. Elsie D. Casantosan. Chua Hannah D. with honors. Her parent is Miss Cecilia S. Dales. Coliantes Rosella L. with honors. Her parent is Mr. Rogelio C. Coliantes Jr. Copio Prince Jacob F. with honors. His parents are Mr. and Mrs. Rogel D. Copio. Cordova Jeric M. with honors. His parents are Mr. and Mrs. Raisa and Jolkeram M. Cordova. Cornejo J. Mark B. His parents are Mr. and Mrs. Remo S. Cornejo. Coabalejo Francine D. with honors. Her parents are Mr. and Mrs. Alberto L. Coabalejo. Curitao Laika Jane P. with honors. Her parents are Mr. and Mrs. Crizalde M. Curitao. Dacilio Yesha Leia T. with honors. Her parents are Mr. and Mrs. Esmeralda and Jepti B. Dacilio. Tales Arceline R. with honors. Her parents are Mr. and Mrs. Rosaline and Arcel Fred S. Tales. Dangatan Roxanne May C. with honors. Her parents are Mr. and Mrs. Richard S. Dangatan. De la Cruz Cyril Joshua I. with honors. Her parents are Mr. and Mrs. Marilyn and Jose P. De La Cruz. De La Cruz Edlin R. with honors. Her parents are Mr. and Mrs. Lorelie and Eduardo L. De La Cruz. De La Cruz MG B. with honors. Her parents are Mr. and Mrs. Alex F. De La Cruz. De La Cruz Alona Jean O. with honors. Her parent is Mr. Ireneo Y. De La Cruz. Delan Brent Ariel R. with honors. His parents are Mr. and Mrs. Rodelio A. Delan. Dicen Sheena May D. with honors. Her parents are Mr. and Mrs. Roberto M. Dicen. Deliera Diana Rose S. with honors. Her parents are Mr. and Mrs. Rosalie and Aniel B. Deliera. Dimpas Janelle C. with honors. Her parents are Mr. and Mrs. Marisol and Junelle Dimpas. Domdom Daphne O. with honors. His parent is Mr. Edgar J. Domdom. Estacion Carl Nino G. with honors. His parents are Mr. and Mrs. Genevieve and Nino I. Estacion. Estrada Grapevine Danielo C. with honors. His parents are Mr. and Mrs. Cherry and Danielo Estrada. Evangelista Jessame M. with honors. Her parents are Mr. and Mrs. Noemi V. Evangelista. Fernandez Charmaine May F. with honors. Her parent is Mr. Vicente G. Fernandez. Fortunato Aishikail M. with honors. Her parents is Miss Ana Charel M. Morales. Frago Janelle R. with honors. His parents are Mr. and Mrs. Henderson A. Frago. Gabrielle Princess Joy R. with honors. Her parents are Mr. and Mrs. Cesar D. Gabriel. Gallego Crystal Joy F. with honors. Her parent is Miss Mary Grace F. Gallego. Gara Jeremiah D. with honors. Her parents are Mr. and Mrs. Jerry C. Gara Sr. Gatchalian Jeff A. with honors. His parents are Mr. and Mrs. Gilbert V. Gatchalian. Gavino Angel Aim A. with honors. Her parents are Mr. and Mrs. Joan and Almario Gavino. Guevara Christian B. with honors. His parent is Mr. Edgar C. Guevara. Gurat Gian Rina L. with honor. Her parents are Mr. and Mrs. Jingjing and Archer Gurat. Halipa Sharhan O. with honors. His parents are Mr. and Mrs. Manap P. Halipa. Hamora John Ray L. with honors. His parents are Mr. and Mrs. Mercy and Henry L. Hamora. Hongayo Rhea May W. with honors. Her parent is Mr. Ronnie R. Hongayo. Edosora Yumi B. with honors. Her parents are Mr. and Mrs. Annalisa and Anthony Edosora. Erinko Ezra N. with honors. His parents are Mr. and Mrs. Cesar B. Erinko. Hoxon Chester B. with honors. His parents are Mr. and Mrs. Christine and Crispin Hoxon. Lapurga Neil C. with honors. His parent is Miss Marites C. Lapurga. Lingaw-Lingaw Althea E. with honors. Her parents are Mr. and Mrs. Efren M. Lingaw-Lingaw. Makahilos Gina with honors. Her parent is Mr. Edgar J. Makahilos. Makula Ivan Dominic G. with honors. His parent is Mr. Mark Herbert G. Makula. Madarko Sherwin Harold B. with honors. His parents are Mr. and Mrs. Pemi and J. Lord S. Madarcos. Madrugaba John Armel N. with honors. His parents are Mr. and Mrs. Armel P. Madrugaba. Magwale Melchel Ashirose J. with honors. Her parents are Mr. and Mrs. Rachel and Melchor F. Magwale. Manlavi Tricia Ann S. with honors. Her parent is Mr. Noel M. Manlavi. Matulak Krishaline I. with honors. Her parents are Mr. and Mrs. Angeline and Jonathan Matulak. Mirasol Justin Kate L. with honors. Her parents are Mr. and Mrs. Jeffrey L. Mirasol. Mondigo Danica with honors. Her parent is Mrs. Marlene G. Mondigo. Monting Tresha Ann May B. with honors. Her parents are Mr. and Mrs. Annie and Donald E. Monting. Nava Ellen May N. with honors. Her parents are Mr. and Mrs. Jessie S. Nava. Navarro Angeline N. with honors. Her parent is Mr. Angelo A. Navarro. Navilia Tracy S. with honors. Her parents are Mr. and Mrs. Cesar B. Erinco. Oftana Noralyn B. with honors. Her parents are Mr. and Mrs. Rogelio and Fe Optana. Oliave Mark Angel A. with honors. His parents are Mr. and Mrs. Angeline and Marlon O. Oliave. Omar Jaira Ali with honors. Her parents are Mr. and Mrs. Dalnisa and Manor Omar. Ondot Kian Rael M. with honors. His parents are Mr. and Mrs. Jose B. Ondot. Pabico Princess Althea A. with honors. Her parents are Mr. and Mrs. Anna Jane and Aldwin P. Pabico. Pakleb Precious Arale D. with honors. Her parents are Mr. and Mrs. Bertoli A. Pakleb. Pagubo Adrian A. with honors. His parents are Mr. and Mrs. Amelia and Perseus U. Pagobo. Panado Ivy E. with honors. Her parents are Mr. and Mrs. Zenaida and Roy V. Panado. Paran Altea Rachel R. with honors. Her parents are Mr. and Mrs. Rhea and Redante F. Paran. Parsha Maryjoy D. with honors. Her parents are Mr. and Mrs. Rachel and Marvin D. Parsha. Pascual Shamela Jade S. with honors. Her parents are Mr. and Mrs. Christine and Eric D. Pascual. Penia Natalie Faye B. with honors. Her parent is Mrs. Maria Fe D. Bravo. Pinlac Sherlyn G. with honors. Her parents are Mr. and Mrs. Vilma and Rodolfo M. Pinlac. Ponce Prince Kyle H. with honors. His parents is Mr. Romelito I. Ponce. Ratay Gwyneth May O. with honors. Her parents are Mr. and Mrs. Rolante T. Ratay. Remiendo Aliana Louise C. with honors. Her parents are Mr. and Mrs. Norita and Gilbert P. Remiendo. Rosales Ariane Rose B. with honors. Her parents are Mr. and Mrs. Rosaline and Arniel Rosales. Rosales Riza Ann G. with honors. Her parents are Mr. and Mrs. Noel S. Rosales. Rosales Roxanne Mariel B. with honors. Her parents are Mr. and Mrs. Marites and Nolly Rosales. Sasidon J. Axel Y. with honors. His parents are Mr. and Mrs. Cerila and Abelino P. Sasidon. Salazar Maria Joldine O. with honors. Her parents are Mr. and Mrs. Geraldine and July Salazar. Salivio Abel T. with honors. His parents are Mr. and Mrs. Elgin S. Salivio. Sanchez Cristina D. with honors. Her parent is Mr. Carlos M. Sanchez. Sanchez Mark Louis B. with honors. His parent is Mrs. Melly B. Sanchez. Santiago Danilo A. Jr. with honors. His parent is Mrs. Luisa Santiago. Sayang Aname D. with honors. Her parents are Mr. and Mrs. Esmelita and Danilo Sayang. Sayas Jade D. with honors. His parent is Mr. Pablito N. Sayas Jr. Seracarpio Dwight Simon B. with honors. His parents are Mr. and Mrs. Annabel and Jimmy P. Seracarpio. Silverio Jasmine K. C. with honors. Her parents are Mr. and Mrs. Warlito L. Silverio. Silvestre Ek Lexper E. with honors. His parents are Mr. and Mrs. Calixto M. Silvestre. Santo Tomas Brian John Mark with honors. His parent is Mr. Claudio N. Santo Tomas Sr. Sungkan Astrid B. with honors. Her parents are Mr. and Mrs. Edwina and Brigido S. Sungkan. Tabanyag John Theo J. with honors. His parent is Mr. Joseph P. Tabanyag. Tabastabas John Lennox B. with honors. His parent is Mr. Gabriel Tabas-Tabas. Tahil Donna A. with honors. Her parent is Mr. Darwin E. Tahil. Timbreza April Nicole O. with honors. Her parents are Mr. and Mrs. Florence and Bernard Timbreza. Toyko Christian J. with honors. His parent is Mrs. Mercedes P. Toyko. Trestiza Ivy Noriel J. with honors. Her parents are Mr. and Mrs. Nolan B. Tristeza. Tria Rosalyn C. with honors. Her parents are Mr. and Mrs. Limuel B. Tria. Trinidad John Zeus T. with honors. His parent is Mr. Geoffrey C. Trinidad. Vihano Kimberly Kane L. with honors. Her parents are Mr. and Mrs. Lorena and William Vihano. Velete Randall John L. with honors. His parents are Mr. and Mrs. Ranito T. Velete. Versosa Jimboy L. with honors. His parents are Mr. and Mrs. Menchi and George A. Versosa. And Villegas Richie M. with honors. His parents are Mr. and Mrs. Avelina and Conrado Villegas. Congratulations, completers, and to your proud parents. And now, let us hear a message from a representative of completers with high honors, Trans John Saguno.
You may not always have a comfortable life, and you may not always be able to solve all the world's problems at once. But do not underestimate the importance that you can have, because history has shown us that courage can be contagious and hope can take on a life of its own. Michelle Obama said, COVID-19 drastically changed almost everything, and every day is always a battle of coping what the new normal is. You may be feeling very down right now and believe that there's no point of putting efforts into anything. You may feel like never getting out of the bed and ruminating on negative thoughts on how things will not get better. But there's always a hope that tomorrow will be a better and brighter day. To our school principal, Mamay Almabelia, to teaching and non-teaching personnels, to parents, guardians, and students, good afternoon and mabuhay. Today, I feel honored and grateful to speak in front of your screens. Today is a special day to acknowledge all the efforts and hard works that we spent over this challenging school year of 2020 to 2021. A day we've been waiting for since we entered junior high school, and a great day to celebrate with family and friends. I would like to congratulate everyone that works together to this current situation to make these things possible. Congratulations and thank you to the teachers and faculty staff who put so much effort and hard work to deliver good education to the students during this time of pandemic. Thank you to the school for supporting the needs of every student and teachers. I would like to express our gratitude to all of the parents for all of your sacrifices and guiding your children through their journey at these challenging times. To the students and completers, congratulations and job well done. We deserve to celebrate, to treasure, and to cherish this beautiful moment of unlocking our new achievement. After a long wait, finally, our time has come. We never see ourselves to be in this kind of situation, and we didn't expect this at all. I couldn't imagine that it's been almost 2 years since we left school together with the memories created in that place. For almost 2 years, we stayed at home, thinking about how can we survive challenges brought by COVID-19, how and when it will last. But we don't know, because all we know is just we need to adopt what the new normal is in order to survive. In our part as teacher and students, it is hard to continue education in the middle of the pandemic. Learning institution push education, but a lot of people oppose the decision, and I admit I am one of them. Those people who used to tweet #academic break now. Noong una para sa akin, it will be useless. Masyado akong maraming tanong, like, how can we study alone? How can we study without a teacher? How can we study at home? And how can we study when we are far away from each other? Siguro may mga nagtatanong din nito, and I hope you already found your answer to your questions. Kasi ako, I already answered my questions. I have realized that we can study even if there's no teachers in our sides. Yung normal setup of learning wants us to realize that we can study alone because in some circumstances, a teacher will not always be by in our sides to light the way for us, but it teaches us to create our own light to see the way we are taking. We can study alone, for it teaches us to be independent when it comes in learning, to be independent in discovering things. Teachers play important role in success of every student, but I believe that real learning, real knowledge comes within us. I want to share my favorite quote of John Deline. When you feel like quitting, think about why you started. Marami sa atin ang nafe-feel na parang susuko na. Nahihirapan sa sitwasyon natin ngayon, and many of us think to stop studying. Maybe we think that it is a waste of time where we can consume the real learnings. This may not be effective as traditional face-to-face learning, but there's no other way. We already start changes in our learning system, and there's no way to turn back. All we need to do is to continue and find ways to improve it. Nasimulan na natin bakit pa tayo hihinto. Nasa gitna na tayo ng gyera, and we survived this school year, ngayon pa ba tayo susuko? Sabi nga ni Leonardo da Vinci, learning is the only thing that mind never exhausts, never fears, and never regrets. We have a lot of reasons to continue learning, and these reasons will make us to understand and realize how important it is to continue education. It's been almost 2 years since COVID-19 affects our life. Maraming nagbago at patuloy na nagbabago. Hindi ito naging madali para sa lahat. Ang buhay na mahirap ay mas lalong naging mahirap. Noong pasukan sa taong 2020 to 2021, parang hindi ko naramdaman na nagsimula na ang school year. Nakakapanibagong sa araw ng pasukan, hindi ka nagising ng madaling araw para maligo at maghanda para pumasok sa school. Nakakapanibagong walang mainit na kanin, masarap na umagahan, mainit na kape at pandesal para sa iyong almusal. Nakakamiss maglaba ng uniforms, nakakamiss magplansya ng uniforms. Kasi ngayon, nakatago na lang sila sa iisang lalagyan. Yung sapatos natin noon na sobrang kintab na ayaw nating matapakan, puro na lang alikabok ngayon. Yung ID mo, okay pa ba? Alam mo ba kung nasaan na? Siguro naman, nagkaroon ka ng pagkakataon malakhan ng ID race nito. Nakakamiss yung mga araw na sobra ang kabog ng ating mga dibdib at kaba na nararamdaman. Sa di malamang dahilan, magpapakilala lang naman tayo sa harap ng klase. Na parang ganito, hello everyone, I am Transgen Saguno, 16 years old from Puerto Princesa City, Palawan. Yung mga araw na bago mo palang nakikilala yung mga kaklase mo. Ang sarap balikan yung mga araw na biglang mag-iigay ang buong klase, magsisigawan, magtatawanan at magkakantahan. Yung mga araw na magpapaalam kay ma'am, sir, magsi-CR lang po, pero sa kantin pala ang diretsyo. Naalala mo pa ba yung mga araw na gumagawa ka ng reports nyo, pero nagsisimula nang mag-report ang group 1? Yung Manila paper na punit-punit at yung pentel pen na putol-putol at tinta, yung sulat na hindi alam kung saan magpatungo. Na-miss mo rin ba yung mga activities na sa huli ay naging assignments na lang dahil paubos na ang time? Yung mga quizzes na bukas na lang dahil may event sa school? At yung mga pagkakataong nakabihis na ang lahat ng costumes para sa performance task, absent pala si teacher. Na-miss mo rin ba yung mga pagkakataon na sobrang ingay ng gym dahil sa lakas na sigawan ng mga estudyante? I'm sure may naiisip kang masasayang alaala sa mga oras na to. Maraming mga bagay ang sobrang nagbago. Wala tayong magagawa kundi alalahanin ang mga bagay na iyon, mga alaalang masarap ng balikan. Tunay ngang napakabilis ng pagtakbo ng oras. Sabi nga nila, the only thing you can't recycle is a wasted time. But the real problem is, we always think that we still have a time. Our time is too limited, so make every day your best day. Discover yourself, your potential, and your ability. Grow and become stronger than ever, because you are bigger than what you think you are. Everyone is conditioned for greatness. Do not wait for your turn. Make a move and make yourself shine because every time is a right time to glow. Our completion may look like a little different. Hindi na ito tulad ng dati. Hindi na natin magagawang maglakad patungong stage. Hindi na natin magagawang hawakan ng ating mga certificates sa harap ng maraming tao. No more proudly smiling in front of flashing cameras. No more shake hands with our teachers. At ang nakakalungkot ay hindi natin makikita ang ating mga magulang na suot-suot ang kanilang magagandang mga damit, makikintab ng mga sapatos habang naglalakad ng may buong karangalan. Nakangiting makikita ang galak sa kanilang mga mata't labi na tila ba nanalo sa isang loto. Pero higit pa dyan, ang nararamdaman ng isang magulang na makita ang kanyang anak na nakapagtapos na. This day is not only about recognizing the completer's achievement, but this day is a great opportunity to give credits to all of our parents. Sabi nga nila, ang tagumpay sa edukasyon ng anak ang magiging kabayaran sa lahat ng paghihirap ng mga magulang. And throughout this journey, nakita nating mas nagsumikap ang ating mga magulang to give us a comfort life. Our parents never failed to express their love to us. Ang isang magulang ay kayang isakripisyo ang lahat para sa kapahanan ng kanyang mga anak at pamilya. Hindi matutumbasan ng kahit ano ang pagmamahal ng magulang sa kanyang mga anak. To Mama and Papa, palagi ko pong aalalahanin ang mga pagsisikap at pagsasakripisyo ninyo at sisiguraduhin kong walang masasayang sa lahat ng paghihirap ninyo. Ang mga dugo, pawis at luha ay papalitan ko ng karangalan. Maraming salamat po sa inyo at mahal na mahal ko po kayo. Mothers, fathers, lolo and lola, tito and tita and guardians, you deserve to celebrate this day as you always give your best to guide and support your children's education. The spotlight will always be yours and your sacrifices will always be remembered. To all of the completers who are watching this together with their family, I want you to express your love and thanks to your parents in the way you know. It can be a tight hug, a sweet kiss, or simply by saying thank you and I love you. Chat, call, communicate, and connect with your friends and classmates to give them a congratulations. A thank you for they become a part of your journey to success and part of your junior high school life. In the next few months, we will take our next big step. Sa mga susunod na taon, maybe makikita natin ang isa't isa wearing different IDLAs, wearing different school uniforms, and taking different strand and courses. Please remember the nostalgic moments we once shared together at this campus, the laughter, the tears, and emotions. That moments will remain in every corner of our rooms. Success is no accident. It is hard work, perseverance, learning, studying, sacrifice, and most of all, love of what you are doing. Bell said, "The adventure ahead us is the journey that will fulfill our own purpose and potential." Once again, good afternoon, mabuhay, at marami pong salamat.
Thank you, Trans, for that message. And to formally end this virtual completion ceremony, let us have Ma'am Olive S. Hikilan, Head Teacher 3 and the Chairman for Awards Committee, for her closing remarks.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Before we close this afternoon's completion ceremony, I'd like to take this opportunity to express my sincerest gratitude to the faculty, staff, and administration of Sicsican National High School. Congratulations, both the completers, the supportive family, and friends who have helped us realize this moment. The school year 2020-2021 has been very challenging, yet we can say that this is another creative year to all of us. I personally congratulate everyone here for your determination to strive more amidst this pandemic. Our dear completers, it is clearly seen in your outstanding achievements and its well-deserved pride, though that's not merely the end of awarding of certificates and medals, and to be followed by hanging it in your wall just for many people to admire with. But as we witness your defiant fruitful journey as a junior high school completers come to an end this afternoon, another door of senior high school and college life awaits you with a lot of opportunities, changes, challenges, and pursuits. Nevertheless, adversities and misfortunes are not an exemption to the role of having success. Surely, you will face predicaments and difficulties. But despite of that, don't forget to hold on to character that is very crucial and significant. That will be your reflection for tomorrow on how you will build a strong foundation in your family, peers, community, and even yourself. Before I formally end this ceremony, let me read you a verse from the book of 1 Timothy, chapter 4, verse 12. It says, "Don't let anyone look down on you because you are young. Instead, set an example for the believers in speech, in life, in love, in faith, and in purity." With that, thank you as we end this academic year 2020-2021. Once again, good afternoon, congratulations, and mabuhay tayong lahat!